I gave all of my life to Mother Buddha, oh yes, including my name that I will never utter again. I've given all of my life, and if I say this name, then Mother Buddha will come after me, and life will be over for me and my family. So don't you dare utter your name again, or you'll be fucked, and it'll be over for you. Incantation is a Netflix original written and directed by Kevin Ko and also written by Chi-Wei Chung. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce any of the other cast member names because I'm pretty certain that I just totally wrecked one of the writers' names. Nevertheless, let me know your thoughts on this movie in the comments, please. The plot, such as it is, it's a mockumentary, found footage type film where basically things really be fucked because there's a cursed video that if you watch it, the more you watch it, the more the curse takes hold of you. And also there's a ritual and other weird stuff going on. And this movie's really jarring, and when it wants to get bloody, it gets bloody. And it's pretty goddamn haunting. There are a few issues I have with it, but the plot, such as it is, basically the description on Netflix that was clear, or not Netflix, but on IMDb that was translated. This is a cursed video. It might, pose certain risks to watch. For those that do follow, please solve the puzzle of my daughter's curse to help her, to basically save her and everything. So, yep, found footage mockumentary where we have Lee Rohan. She had a terrible, thing happen to her about 6 years ago. And this jumps back and forth between that particular time period, 6 years ago, and current day 2022. Well, as current as possible, I think they even said it was like May of 2022. So pretty damn, close to current day. Time moves so goddamn fast and things, just there's such a fast turnover that it almost seems like May of this year was like May of 2 years ago. Nevertheless, so she's filming herself and basically says that there's a blessing. It's a blessing, but also a curse and everything. This weird stuff is happening, and I'm doing this to basically save my daughter. She wants to help her daughter, and then we smash cut, back and forth between 6 years ago and everything to try and piece this stuff together. And basically, she was in a mental institution, Lee Rohan was, and now that she's better, she's trying to get custody of her daughter that has been in the care of foster homes. There's a particular teacher who has been, or teacher foster father that has been taking care of her, teaching her and stuff like that. But now Lee Rohan is ready to be a mother. She has somebody with her that she's filming this, new life diary because they're all about family over there. And when you have particular issues, you try to come together for your family. And it's also in Mandarin. It's a Taiwanese horror movie. Probably should have said that in the beginning. So get ready for a whole lot of subtitles and maybe some stuff that culturally won't quite make as much sense here. Horror is different depending on the country, and that's kind of what this movie both can be praised for, but also suffers a bit because certain things are scarier in other countries. This is, I don't want to say a little more general, but this can actually be considered a little bit scary and a little bit jarring, even if, again, there are aforementioned issues. My main thing is it goes back and forth between, 6 years ago and current day. And not even too much is necessarily an issue, but it takes you a bit to figure out, oh, okay, now we're back suddenly here. Now we're suddenly in current day. These characters look similar. Oh, wait, no, it's this person, so let's just go with that. It gets a little bit messy and a little bit convoluted, and it's a pretty simple linear plot with a little bit of depth as far as why the ritual ends up, being a thing and why there is such a curse placed over this family and over others. She has her daughter, Dodo, that has a certain name. Basically, the idea is in this particular ritual, you participate in it, you have to pray to Mother Buddha every 10 years, come back to this particular mountain area, house, compound. I mean, it's actually a pretty goddamn creepy place. as I would imagine some areas would be out there since they're so ritualistic and religious in some aspects. And you must come back and pray to Mother Buddha every 10 years. And also, you give your name and you must come up with another name, and you can't utter it, you can't even think it, or otherwise you are screwed. And from there, we have a horror movie. One that some people may have seen kind of before, but there's a particular set of skill put into this. Writer-director Kevin Ko does a good job, and Chi Wan Shang does a pretty good job as well. I'm not going to say the movie's perfect. It does suffer from some pacing issues, and I think could have honestly probably been cut by a few minutes. I feel that even at an hour and 45 minutes or so before the credits start rolling, it gets a little bit long in the tooth. Some of it seems kind of familiar. There is a bit of a paranormal activity type, theme to this. And also, since we've seen so many goddamn found footage movies, it's hard to do something found footage that feels original. But there's a good amount to it. It is good and violent. There are some creepy images. They do a good job as far as making it seem like the characters are in some real danger. Even though a few things come out of nowhere, it gets a little bit messy. It's certainly not bad. And I would absolutely recommend it. Check it out. It is on Netflix. And it's worth watching. And Netflix, when they get things right with their original content or stuff that they, bring over from other countries, it's a double-edged sword. You can either have something really, really good like 18 Presents, or you can have something really, really bad like Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight, or Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight 2. Please don't tell me they're doing a third one of that, but enough about that. It's pretty damn creepy. It's pretty damn good. Not perfect, but overall tends to hit more than it misses. Even if it stumbles a bit in its third act. And then really stumbles by the end of the third act, in my personal opinion. However, I am going to be getting into spoilers, but again, it is on Netflix. Good creepy stuff. Watch it at your own risk. If you've ever suffered any kind of mental health issues, it may also hit a little bit home for you. Careful, there are some strobe light issues at times with flickering flashlights and some flashing imagery if you happen to be sensitive to that stuff. But anyway, 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so basically we go back and forth between these two time periods, these just 6-year difference. Lee Rohan was with a crew going out to just a couple people. They had a strange. It was some kind of ghost hunter channel. I remember that. Ghostbusters. Woo, bustin' make them feel good. So they're going out there to basically, film this shocking, this ritual. And Lee Rohan isn't necessarily welcome there, but then it is after this old woman there sees her and is like, oh, well, she'll be perfect, even though she doesn't say that. And then we also see, in current time, her trying to make peace and have a relationship with her daughter, Dodo. And then there's Chi Lee Tong, which is her actual name, by the way, just so you know. That's something that she wasn't supposed to say, but Dodo is her other name. At least that's as much as I gathered from it. And yeah, we jump back and forth more. Lee Rohan, she says stuff to herself. I recovered. I'm not scared anymore because she had that trip in the mental institution. And now is trying to prove that she can be a very good mother. She's filming this stuff. She kind of forms this bond with this foster dad. And also there's this footage that's out there that is referenced to that we see a little bit later of a tunnel that you're not supposed to go into, and if you do, you're going to go mad and you're going to be fucked. So what do they end up doing? Of course they end up going into the goddamn tunnel. It's a horror movie. Why the fuck wouldn't they? But we see some more creepy shit. There's this weird little girl as part of this ritual that was used. So basically her flesh was taken by Mother Buddha so she could so it could be given to everyone. That sounds good. No. And they end up being places they shouldn't be. Again, it's kind of a little bit jarring. We go back to where Lee Rohan is losing her mind a little bit more. She takes off, or she is about to, basically just crack. We see a part where Dodo has a camera and jumps off a part of a roof, or jumps off of a landing, and ends up being fine, comes back and gets a knife, and basically either goes to cutting herself or cutting other people. We don't really see that. The music is certainly a choice, I will say that much. The music is kind of creepy, Gregorian chants and stuff like that, and monk chants. And then, yeah, we see more of this ritual. Girl says at one point, the little girl that's part of the ritual, do you want to go somewhere fun? Yeah, listen to the little creepy girl. Why wouldn't you? So then things get really, really weird. The teacher shows up. He helps Lee Rohan escape. This is in current time. They go back up to the mountain. Of course, they're naturally having some issues. Earlier, when the first trip was taken up into the mountains, there was a weird Buddha symbol that was like a doll thing that was somehow lodged in the undercarriage of their car. No idea how it got there. I don't think they ever explained it. But they're cursed. Beware the curse, beware. And then, well, at one point, one of the people goes in the tunnel, and they shouldn't. I think his name was Dom. I think his name was. And he ends up kind of going nuts and biting Lee Ronan, for whatever reason, because he's possessed. And Dodo's condition continues to worsen. It was called, I have to pick up my notes here, hemiparesis, which I believe is some kind of skin muscle issue. It's a medical condition that, judging by what little bit I read about, I would not want to suffer from, and hopefully nobody does. And her condition continues to get worse. It becomes obviously Rohan. She has to complete the ritual. She fucked up. She has to protect her daughter. She has to spread the curse out more. The more you spread the curse, the more it's lessened, or the impact is lessened among everybody. So it's like the ring. You spread it like sickness and everything, and then you get Samara attacking you for no goddamn reason. So that happens, and she's trying to save her daughter. More weird shit happens. She makes sure that her daughter is okay, and then she goes back up into the mountains and completes a ritual and sacrifices herself because she fucked up. And she tells her daughter in another video, please live, laugh, love, work hard, do it for your mom, but also forget about me. That way this curse won't follow you. She hopes that the curse will find a way to, be lessened. There's this weird statue in the tunnels you're not supposed to enter that's actually a Mother Buddha, and the face is covered up. Because if you uncover the face, well, it turns out you're going to be kind of looking in like a crystallized version of Pennywise's Deadlights. And if you know, you know. And what's your name? And you end up saying the name you're not supposed to say, and then you end up hitting your head on a bunch of stuff, and you end up killing yourself. So yeah, it's a real happy movie. It's real happy. It was good. Again, the messiness of going back and forth between the time periods, you could have been done a little better. Yes, you could have gone 6 years ago back. You could have listed it at least some. And I think, again, it was a little bit long in the tooth, but I will say it was definitely one of the better Netflix originals and one of the better, Asian country films, horror films that I've seen in quite a while. Because there are some that I watched, warning, do not play, 0.0 megahertz, and others that were not all that good. This was certainly more than a step above them. I'm going to say B+. I highly recommend check it out, and let me know what you guys have to say in the comments, please. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.